Hello everyone, welcome on back to Survival Challenge. Alright, so first things first, I just want to get the buffalo milk moved over to the dairy. Otherwise, we did skip March, and that is for one main reason, and that is because I wanted to get some harvests done. I know we had the oats that are, well, they're ready now. I kind of wanted to get them done so we can obviously start working on cereal again. It's all on the other side. It's on the other side. Alright. Yeah. We are now spawning honey again. In one full month worth, we did get, what, 3,500 liters? Which is quite a bit. But, obviously, we're going to have how many months it appears that we won't get any, so... more the merrier in that case. Yeah, the corn is ready too, and we don't desperately need that because we do have corn in the production here. Yeah, we have 43,000 liters still, so quite a bit left. Oh, I can turn on this. I turned it off, and I could have very easily turned it back on because obviously we can run out what's left in here then. Yeah, it's good to see. Obviously, we got all the big beehives, and they appear to be spawning quite a bit of honey. Obviously, 3,500 liters, and would be about a month's worth. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Get that dumped. I'm just gonna park this down here for the time being, kind of out of the way. I'm sure I'll need it eventually again, though, because we do have the greenhouses to fill. I want to say the one is fairly low. Well, more likely we'll do the oats first, is kind of what I'm thinking, and that's mainly just because the production needs that first. It really doesn't need any sort of corn right now, so... I'm gonna get the honey moved over, because we probably should do that. Makes sense. Obviously, there's plenty in there. I think there's 1,000 liters, so it's enough to be, you know, run out of what's in there, but... if once we get all the oats in there, oh, we'll see then. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure yet if I'll do all of the 3 harvests that we have today or not, or if I'll do the 2 oat harvests and then replant them potentially. I also have the ability or potential to also start plowing up that one piece over there. That is an option. I don't think it's like a... it's not something that we gotta do, though. We don't have to plow that up right now. It's kind of why I skipped last month. That we could have spent a bunch of time plowing it up and maybe getting it lined, but I much rather would keep our productions going over worrying about making more fields. Because at the end of the day, you gotta make sure you can handle what you have before you try to add more on top of it. That's kind of my thought process, at least. I did want to check. They have a decent amount of slurry. I could use it on the grass field quick. Then, obviously, hay, they're doing good. I think I'll probably at least take it out and do like one load, basically, on the grass field with the slurry. That way we shouldn't have to worry about it filling up for a little bit. And obviously, we'll have plenty of harvesting and planting and plowing up coming up. So we have that potential of it kind of getting forgotten. And that's obviously not something that we want to have happen. We'll make sure that the water buffalo are actually going to continue to produce milk. And obviously, if they are full on slurry, they won't do that. So I did notice, I was looking at the sales, I'm not sure if it's still there, but there was a quad track. It was tempting, I'm not gonna lie, it is very tempting. And that's mainly just because it's a quad track, there's no real other reason why it would be tempting, honestly. Because it's a lot bigger than our current tractor, so it's gonna be tougher to turn around. There's some just negatives alongside it, but it is tempting because it's a quad track. You know, it's one of those things. I've basically almost never used a quad track, I don't think. I might have in 22 at some point, but I certainly don't remember or recall in 25 at any point using it. Every time I've used this, I'm like, you know, would it be worth... would it be worth getting a larger tractor? I always consider it with this, but then we don't really use it that much either. Was it really going to make a difference long term if we get a larger tractor just for slurry spreading? That's the only thing it'd be for. And we could buy a quad track just for slurry spreading. That'll certainly get the job done. I wouldn't have to worry about that part. I know that would have the horsepower. And this does fine once it gets up to speed. It just feels a little bit slow, obviously, to get up there. But once it's going, it's good. Obviously, I know I'm not doing, like, guidance lines or anything. I don't think we're going to have enough here to do the whole field, so I'm not too concerned if we get every little bit of the field. And this is mainly just to keep the fertilizing, obviously, as best as we can in this field. But we also got to worry about the environmental score for this field. Honestly, it's entirely possible that we could do this whole thing. Yeah, we got to worry about environmental, obviously, as much as we can. And if we just neglect this field, it's going to drop quite a bit just off of the nitrogen. And that's not what we want, so I'll try to do my best, obviously, to make sure we get this thing as best as it can be, not just for the yield, but also for the money, obviously, the money aspect of it. Quite a bit of money just in what we'd be losing. We'd be dropping, you know, that field would go from like a 90s to probably, I don't know, 70 something pretty quick. Right now it's a 92, and that's nitrogen is what's lowering it. And it's probably in this field, it's probably the grass field, that's causing it to be a little bit lower. Now we'll back this up. Try not to hit that trailer. And the more I go here, I don't think we'd be able to get fields replanted. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes to get this last strip finished. Wouldn't think too terribly long, and then we can start working on the oat harvests. Obviously, all of that will go right to the multi-grain production. We will get started on the cereal. Yeah, it looks like we should be able to get all, if not most of this field actually from this. So we should be looking at a fairly good yield next time, and obviously a fairly minor maybe drop in the environmental, but not much if at all, which is good to see. And that was the primary reason I was gonna use the slurry, was to try to get the grass field up without using fertilizer. And it seems to be doing its job. Obviously, if we run into scenarios where we have a ton more than what we know what to do with, I can put it down on a field like prior to planting, then we'll use less fertilizer that way. Yeah, this looks to be fairly good. So we should be looking at a fairly good yield next time, which is always good to have. And I think I'm going to keep this down here, honestly, because when I back it up there, it on that hill, it ends up raising the back end of the tractor. And I really don't want to have that happen, so... Alright. Obviously, I don't think it was this foggy before. I took a screenshot, and it reloads the weather, and now it's foggy, so... I don't recall it being this foggy, at least. It certainly looks a lot worse than it did. See, I turned up the time speed. Hopefully it dissipates fairly quick, but... it's hard to say for certain. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and start the time lapse. We'll get this finished out nice and quick. So I'll talk to everyone once the time lapse is done.
What are we doing? We said we never let the world go by. We roll it side by side, but I won't lie. Things are not exactly as we planned. Do you understand? I wanted to make it. Sometimes it feels like we got left behind, and I find that I'm still holding on to times when it was you and me. We just waste time, but we can't waste time. Yeah, it's gonna take work, but I promise that it's worth it. And we can do whatever, there's still gold under the surface. We might not be there right now, and I know we're still here in the same old town. Trust me when I say I want nothing short of perfect. Nothing short of perfect. So what do we do then? We're trying to figure out a way to go, and the wandering has left me feeling cold. Can I take what I have and build it up to something more? Oh, I know it's hard, but can you picture us right now, with our own house and teenage kids just being too loud? And no more wondering how much that we can afford. Could you ask for more? Yeah, it's gonna take work, but I promise that it's worth it. And we can do whatever, there's still gold under the surface. We might not be there right now, and I know we're still here in the same old town. Trust me when I say I want nothing short of perfect. Nothing short of perfect. Nothing short of perfect.
Alright, so we're on the last bit of the oat harvest. It definitely was not a short one. I for some reason thought both of these fields combined for a harvest wouldn't be that bad. That was a crucial mistake. That's a crucial mistake. But you win some and you lose some. So we'll get all this put into the multi-grain production, and obviously we're not going to do the corn. Because right now I've recorded for almost an hour. It's kind of tough to say, you know, how long it's going to be once it's edited, obviously. So a large cut is going to be just the time-lapse. So, might be a bit shorter than normal. I'm going to warn you that now. I wasn't planning on it either, so. But, it is what it is. We'll get this all done as much as we can. There we go. And get this here. The pH looked bad. Just like a couple of small little spots. So maybe I'll check it out. Make sure it's good before I replant this. It should be replanting next time. I should be. We should be able to do the corn harvest and get these fields replanted. Although that might be pushing that field away for plowing. But, and honestly, we probably have canola coming up too. And we got quite a few things coming up, which will likely take a little bit of time away from that. But, like I've said before, it's not a huge concern to make sure we get, you know, that field plowed up immediately. The biggest concern is to make sure we're keeping up with the fields that we have. I don't want to add, you know, another one in there and then barely be able to keep up. But yeah, chances are that one up there will be the last field or fields that we'll have. I don't know how many we'll have up there, but chances are it'll likely be the last of them that we'll make. Because obviously there's times when we're very easily able to keep up, and then there's times where it's pretty tough. So to be on the smart side of things, I think we're about there at max. And I think that one field might be too much, but I think we'll be fine. Worst comes to worst, obviously, if there's productions or something that I want to place, I can kind of take up from land up there to make it a little bit smaller even. I'll get this put into the shed, and then obviously, like I said, next time we'll be doing the corn. And well, we should be able to get these two fields here replanted. The only thing is, obviously, like I said, I gotta check the pH. Is it bad because it's high or bad because it's low? Well, some of it says it's really good, and then this lone piece says bad. What was my last, oh, this is at 100. I'm gonna assume it might need it, but there's spots where it's okay. I feel like it wasn't that long ago I did it. I don't think so, at least. But maybe it's been a little bit. Well, I'll probably look more off camera, kind of see if, you know, not just that one little small spot. I'll look in the larger scheme of things to see if how bad the entire thing is, you know, large majority of it okay, and we're gonna get another harvest out of it, or is it looking like we should put lime on it? Yeah, we got what, 70,000 liters from this, something like that. Quite a bit. Obviously, there's probably more oats here than what we'll be able to do with the honey. That's the one thing that's keeping us behind, is obviously we need a lot of honey to be able to do this. So, do I place more beehives and then, well, hope for the best after that, maybe? Or I could kind of get these, you know, the corn and this in here, and then we'll kind of see by what, October, November, somewhere in there, when they stop making honey, I can kind of see, all right, how far behind for honey are we? I don't think I'll do oats and, well, corn I might be able to do, but I don't think I'll do oats. I mean, I could still do it and just sell it if it's not great or something. Because that's kind of the thing. I don't want to have a situation where we're making way too many oats and corn that obviously the bees aren't going to keep up. And is it a small margin, a large margin? Like, do we need to make a ton more hives, or is it, you know, close enough where one or two is going to be fine? But yeah, that is everything for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.